Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the German Tier 8 Premium Light Tank, the Aguila HWK HWK 30. So this is a tank you're going to be able to earn in the brand new season pass that's just been released. It's a tank that I think we've earned it before. I'm pretty sure we've earned the HWK 30 before, which is the unskinned version of this tank. And I'm actually pretty sure we've earned the Aguila before as well, but that might have been before 6.0. I can't quite remember. It's a long time ago. We've earned a lot of tanks since then. And yeah, the Aguila is a solid light tank. I have the problem with it that I don't enjoy it that much post 6.0. I used to really love it pre 6.0. Post 6.0, I get a bit annoyed with it. And that's because it's a fat, and yes, I am going to fat shame this light tank. It's a fat light tank. And the poor thing, basically, as soon as you get spotted, it just gets snapshot all the time, and especially getting the replays for this video, it was just painful. It was like, oh, I'm spotted, smash, 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 dead. Like, there was like no sort of give to it. It was so easy to hit. You'd be traveling at 70 kilometers an hour, but since you're a big, fat, long target, you were really easy just for people to smash you. And that's really annoying compared to quite a few of the other light tanks. Also, it doesn't have the best camo in the world for a light tank, which means that you do get spotted annoyingly as well. But the gun on this tank is absolutely fabulous, and I'm not kidding, absolutely fabulous. The penetration is like 180 something. I think it's 182, I want to say, on the APCR rounds. 250 on the heat rounds is fantastic as well. And the gun handling generally for this gun is also great. You've got great shell velocity, and you've got 240 alpha. It is a pretty lovely gun to use. You've also, I mean, you don't have the best camo, but you do go at 70 kilometers an hour, although you're a little bit sluggish off the mark to get to it. You do have brilliant view range at 410, which means, you know, you're going to be able to spot, especially if you run optics, you're going to, and well, optics and situational awareness as well as food, you're going to be having massive view range, and that's really helpful for getting the assistance that you want to be getting as a light tank. So in terms of equipment for this tank, I do run Rammer, Camo Net, and optics. Rammer obviously make DPM better. Camo Net because, well, say it's a light tank, you want good camo, but the camo isn't that great on this tank, and it can be really annoying. And optics because, well, you're a light tank, making that view range better is always great. In terms of a crew on the Aguila, I run a pretty standard setup for my light tanks. I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Steady Aim, Trap Mechanic, Camouflage Expertise, and Muffled Shot. Now, at first I didn't run not Camouflage, at first I didn't run Trap Mechanic, because there's quite a few light tanks I've not been running Trap Mechanic, and I'm just making the most out of the gun with having Snapshot on as well, but then keeping the camo perks. But I just, because it's so fat, I just kept getting hit all the time, and it was like, tracked. I'd repair it, instantly tracked. It was so irritating, so I put Trap Mechanic back on, because get tracked and then Trap Mechanic's on, so you just get to repair it dead quick, which is solid. So, this first game, we're on Proc, which is obviously a great light tank map. There's one thing that this tank has, which is great HEP rounds, which we've just used to great effect there. The HEP rounds have like 105 pen, and they are wonderful. You can pen so many good targets with them. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to be aggressive and spot. There was two tanks that were one-shots with me with HEP, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to go in, finish both these guys, and try and spot anything that might be camping on the train tracks at A6. Nothing was camping there, but there was a Hellcat randomly sitting at A5. God knows why. We managed to spot him up. He lost most of his hit points, and now we're on the run to try and spot the things camping at the back along the 2 line. I basically took the bowl, and it didn't work, and it wasn't a good idea to take the bowl. I was struggling to pen the T54E2, stuff like that. And I decided, you know what, I've got to be a bit more aggressive. I've got to try and get forward and give my team some vision. And like I say, the other two were one-shots for me with HEP, and I knew the gun handling on this tank's good enough if I get close, and the penetration on those rounds are good enough for those lightly armoured targets. We got in, shut them down, and now we're able to light them up. Unfortunately there, we end up cresting a little bit too high on the ridge, but the KV4 full turret rotation with the 122mm gun just managed to snap a shot into us, took most of our hit points, the hit points that we wanted. Bit frustrating, now we've got to be really careful, and we do have to spot these guys, but if I had the hit points that I just lost to that KV4, I could be a little bit more aggressive here. I could poke up, take a bit more of a risk when trying to get up and get shots into these guys, and trying to get a shot into the side of this KV4 would be a little bit easier, because obviously I could get if I had the hit points, I could poke over, take the hit from a CS-53, and quite easily get the shot into that guy. But it's really annoying. I'm trying to get a different angle on them, but the CS-53 is just paying attention to us. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh my goodness me, he's going to come over and finish me off. But fortunately enough, he hits the ridgeline in front of us. So I'll go back to over here. The CS-53 is fired, so I'm pretty confident I can get the shot into the side of the KV4. And in fact, the CS-53 got shut down, so it was safe. So the KV4's gone. There's just one tank left. We get a nice shot into the side of the Emil-1 as we come over. And the game's over. And we finished with it was a very quick fire game on Prokhorovka. We finished with the epic victory. 7 kills, 3.2k damage, 2.9k assistance. Ace Tanker, Devastator, Patrol Duty, Top Gun. 2k base XP. A really nice game for the Aguila. Like I say, the Aguila it's a solid light tank. And if you take aggressive position where you can use the good gun depression, use the good gun handling, and be able to get your 410 view range out to get good spotting in, you can have a lot of fun with this tank. Like I say, it's just one of those that struggles a little bit when going a bit active, because if you get spotted and you are running about, you're not hard to hit at all. And yeah, if you get spotted out in the open, you're just going to get smashed, and it's really irritating. But that doesn't mean it's a bad light tank, because it's not. It's a really solid tank. And like I say, pre 6.0, I definitely loved it, and post 6.0, I just get a little bit frustrated with how easy it is to hit for everybody, every man and his dog. Even like I always say, it's defenders, right? But yeah, defenders, 0.47 accuracy, and they'll be like, 400 meters, snap, hit you, you know. But that's just the frustration of the accuracy. So we're on the second game, and we're on Mali, and we're going to go to the D6 position, which is a really hit and miss position, because people, for some reason, see a tank in this spot, and they just go, "Oh, tank, YOLO!" And that's exactly what happens every single time you take this spot. It's a really powerful position, but for some reason, people are just so willing to throw themselves away to try and get rid of the one tank in it. T44, case in point. Hello, my friend. Are we okay here? Fortunately enough, I've got people that are actually shooting. I'm still full health and they're really not. They end up missing and we get, well, the TNH 105 1000 gets to shut them down. But that happens every single time. And the amount of times I've also had like 3 or 4 tanks YOLO me in that position, throw themselves into the middle of this lake, and then all 4 die. Just for me. I mean, in terms of the match, it's probably a great trade, right? Because that'd be 4 tanks down for 1 tank. But it's super frustrating to play against. Because you're like, oh, I wanted to play the game, you know? But once you are left alone in this position, you can have a great time. If you truly want to counter this position, there's actually a safer and far better way to do it, and that is go to D7. You go to D7, that little ridge line, and you can actually use your gun depression and aim down on this person that is in D6. And by doing that, they can barely ever aim at you because of gun elevation problems. And therefore, if you take D6, you can farm them, shut them down, stop their vision, and not get shut down yourself by just throwing yourself away. Yeah, it's really frustrating to get YOLO'd in this position. So yeah, so far, we're up to 2.6k assistance with 1300 damage, which is great. I've kept trying to blind fire that one position that 50 TP was in, because I kept getting spotted, and I think it was that super Hellcat. But in fact, from watching that shell tracer there that flew, he's actually further to the right, which I notice now. Unfortunately, when we poke up to get a shot into that 50 TP, he ends up hitting us. But fortunately enough, he was actually firing HE, which could have actually been quite bad, because he probably could have penned us with the HE, but I think he hit our tracks and didn't do too much with it, which is fine. But like I say, we're just getting good spots out from here as well. I mean, it's also a good spot for medium tanks to go, because you can use your gun like this Dragon is. It's such a powerful position once you get left alone in it, because once you've shot the people on the hill, you can start spotting the base out. And once you spot the campers in the base, you can also get a ton more assistant and a load more damage. So right now we're trying to get shots into the back of this Oho. I should have loaded heat, sorry. I should have loaded heat to get rid of that guy because I couldn't pen him there with the APCR, but he is gone. There's now the 2 light tanks on the left, and then there's this Ferdinand. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and use the gun depression here, or use the ridge line, sorry, to get some elevation up to get the shots into the side of this Ferdinand. So we get one in, and then we get another one into the back end of that guy, but he starts to turn around. And I'm not really willing to take a hit from the Ferdinand, to be honest. He gets shut down by the Tag 2, brilliant. Then there's the artillery. It's like, well, hello, friend, I kind of wish I had HEP loaded. And we get a nice shot into him, hopefully get to shut it down, which we do. There's the tier 6 Boilermaker over there, which is a tank you don't see that often. Randy was saying he needed help with the light tank so he could, well, at least it would be down on a one-shot or it wouldn't get to kill him. So we just take a risk, poke out, get the shot into the light tank, and he ends up getting shut down. Now we get the shot into the top of the Boilermaker, and now we can move on to the medium tank, light tank, and tank destroyer. We know where the medium tank is. It's currently spotted at K4, so, you know, we know exactly where the light tank was. He was along here. I'm expecting the light tank to have bugged out along the 1 line and gone towards H1. And I imagine the other tank is probably going to be in that general vicinity as well, because it's not been spotted for a wee while. So we're going to go for it. We'll try and get the shot on the move into the bat chat, but unfortunately we did track damage only because it's heat. And I think we hit it at a weird angle, so it was just spaced armor. But now the GSAW 1008 is the only one left. In fact, that might have been the GSAW from the start. I'm not quite sure. He is looking at this other HWK 30, though, so it's like, now he's looking the other way. Let's just go over. We can get some shots. And I was thinking about jumping on it at one stage, but I thought, no, you know what, I'm going to think better of it. I was kind of going for the track and pen there, because if we tracked it and someone jumped on it, we're going to get a bit of assistance there. But unfortunately, I don't think we did. But we finished the game with the 1 kill, the 4,000 damage, 3.5k assist, ace tank, Confederate, high caliber, and the 1974 base XP. A really nice game again for the Aguila HWK 30. I'd say it's a solid light tank. It's just really fat. And yes, I am fat shaming it. I'm sorry, Aguila. I'm so sorry. You just need to lose a bit of weight. But yeah, so just bear in mind that when you are a bit more active, you're quite easy to hit. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!